Hey all, today we are back in our UPSC classes about the latest news that the carbon market has uh, by the Energy Consumption Act of 2022. First is that the new Bazar of carbon coming in to discuss is what it is really. So carbon Bazar is just buying and selling of a carbon credits, but it's very important uh, and because this is not only a word, it's a has a value, has an emotion, and it has an economic and geopolitical context also. So the point is that now these type of carbon credits, which were previously were not too popular in India, will now be traded. Soon will be available in the BSE and NSE, that is the stock markets of India, and the corporates will can easily get this without any type of government interference or government sanction. So let's understand what it is carbon credits. So carbon credits, in simple terms, are just like the tokens that a company or an organization gets when they do something good for the environment or do something to tackle the climate change or reduce the carbon emission. First, we understand what is the value of a carbon credit. So as you can see here, one carbon credit is equal to 1 ton of carbon dioxide. That means a person or an organization having one carbon credit is authorized by the government that these companies or organizations have reduced 1 ton of carbon dioxide from the environment, and this is a internationally permittable thing, that is the UN standard. And this concept is brought in the Paris Agreement of 2015. As we all know that for the in the climate change perspective, the Paris Agreement is the bedrock which have make a command to all the countries that we should reduce the global temperature by 2 degree from the from the industrial era. So if you understand how this bazaar will be conducting its process, what is the structure? So let's understand by example. Suppose there is a factory established, okay, and due to the growing demand and the growing consumption and production of it, they were expanding it by cutting the forest. That is a deforestation, one kind of climate hampering thing. Also, the ash or the ashes or the chemicals that were going in the environment or which gets settled on the leaves of the plants is also hampering the nearby vegetation and its plant environment. That is the second point. The third point is that suppose the water that is used in the chemical factories are not rated well, and then they were discharged in the mainstream rivers, they create the problem of water pollution or water contamination. Also, they can lead to the lungs problem, that is the asthma and other type of lungs diseases. Okay, so as we all are knowing that in the current decade or in the previous decades, international organizations are very much focused on the climate change. So what they have told that they will start sanctioning those type of organization or countries that will uh, just violate the environmental laws. Some of the major organizations of the international bodies are like IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel of the for Climate Change, the World Health Organization, that look for the people's health, and the UN Environment Program that runs a series of schemes and programs and also advise the countries on their future perspective. On the other hand of the carbon credit, we have some green certified business that some of the as we all know that some of the entrepreneurs or some of the companies are working in the renewable energy sector, that is the solar plate manufacturing sector, organic fertilizers manufacturing sector, or the windmills and panels producing systems, the electronics scrap collectors, that these electronic scraps are getting the huge in number, the growing era, and the plastic recycling companies. So these companies awarded are awarded by carbon credit certificate. Okay, and these certificates are just like tokens. So as the company keeps its good work, its number of tokens and credits will increase and increase and increase. So till now they only get the certificates, but now they can sell it to the persons and earn some funds for the research and development, and to more and to use that funds to go in the more green sector and just control the global uh, temperature or the global hampering that were caused by this type of by other companies. So how this system works is just a process of buy and sell in which the industries and the companies, the big industrialist companies and the green certified business companies that have a lot of tokens of as sanctioned by the government or given by the government. What they take is they just share these tokens to these type of industrialists, and in the lieu or in the return they get the money, and this money will not be on to just get only profit. They were especially told by the government that they were mandated to use this type of money to expand its green business, to get more green certificates by doing good things, and to invest that money in the research and development sector for more carbon, to get new carbons removing technologies. Also, there are two components of this bazaar. This bazaar is mainly classified into two things. One is called a voluntary market, and the other is called a compliance market. So in the voluntary market, the whole sole person will be the businessmen. That as we see in the our sectors, uh, like the our stock exchange, how the businessman comes and just take the scene and go. Nobody is involved. Nowhere the government is involved except they're the regulatory part. In the same thing here, that all the trades will be done by the businessmen, and their aim will be just to make profit by either mean. Okay, but in the compliance market, the government take in hands to look for the climate change. So what they do, they also release some certificates, they also buy certificates, they also start making policies at the regional, national and international levels, and work for the sustainability and the climate change. On the other hand, the voluntary market just a buy and sell. As and this For example, there is a compliance market in European Union which has been working in 2000 since 2005. You will see this example in the later slides. So this how did this bazaar have arrived in India? So this bazaar is the initiative of the Ministry of Power, and these amendment have been brought in the Energy Conservation Bill of 2022, which is just to get the assent of the president. After that, it will become an act. It's in the final stage of ratification. So the thing is that a governing body have been made to overlook its regulations and its trade. What for what trade? The emission trade scheme. Okay, and that governing is none other than the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, which is a top nodal under the Ministry of Power. So the thing now if you go further, is this concept new in India? No. The Bureau of Energy Efficiency has been previously working since 2015 on this platform. What is this platform? In this platform, the Bureau of Energy Efficiency has set some of the targets. What are the targets? The target that were performed by the companies, and when they achieve the target, they get their carbon certificates by these from these government institutions, and permit them to trade that to get funds for their research and development and to further go for their process in the green sector. So if you look what are the two existing tradable certificates in India, we have the renewable energy certificate and we have the energy saving certificate. To make it simple, we have seen that in the air conditioners and the refrigerators, we are seeing the star certificates that it is a 3 star, it's a 4 star, it's a 5 star. That stars were have been given by the some other companies. The process is very simple. Suppose a AC manufacturing or a refrigerator manufacturing company is hampering the or increasing the global temperature or hampering the environment. So what they do in the lieu of it, suppose there is a nursery sector that were growing plants and then just distribute them to to different type of sectors or just remove the dirt from the plant of the roads. So these type of sectors get some of the good certificates or the green carbon credits from the government. What these type of AC companies and refrigerator manufacturing companies do, they tie a partnership with them that you do your good things and make the credit to us. Also, the whole sole motto of all these type of schemes is to tackle the climate change and reduce the emission. And we'll go further and see that how India has set its national goal of reducing the emission intensity by 45% since 2005 level by 2030. And also he have committed that India will produce nearly 5,000 gigawatt from the renewable energy sector by 2030. And since we are already in 2023, the goal is not very far, but the type of potential and the type of work we need is a little bit far away. Now, is it scheme or this idea is new to the world? No. Since 2005, the European Union is using this system in their trade market in the name of the European Union Emission Trading Scheme. In this type of trading schemes, the European Union permits the European Union countries to to trade the carbon credits by when they fulfill the some of the eligibility. What are the highlights of these? If you go further, we look that there is a minimum eligibility condition that must be fulfilled by the company to get the carbon credits. Also, all the auction of the carbon credits are done under the government or by a government body to reduce the chances of the to reduce the chances of the corruption in the government sector. Also, there are some of the quotas and limit that some person should not just use it to pollute the environment and make profit and then give the profit to the other organizations. So this is not the case. At the end result, what we have got that in the previous decade from 2005 to 19, the European Union have cut its carbon emission by 35%. That's a very huge number for just a developed nation, thus not compromising its economic growth and also just cutting its carbon emission. Also, under this scheme, the European Union had cut 9% in 2008 and 9. That means in 1 year they have cut around 10% emission from from the 2005 era. Now, if you go further, that, that what is a good scheme? But as we have a quote that nothing is all good and nothing is all bad. These type of schemes also face some challenges that must be overcome by the Indian government or Indian policymakers to make it suitable to the Indian market. Some of the things are greenwashing. Greenwashing is nothing, just it's system of making fool to the customer and the government in the face of that we are doing good. In the greenwashing, it's a process of conveying or spreading a false message that our products are good for the environment and we are doing good for the climate sector. These type of claims were made by some which is giving the money to the corruption officers and they just gave the just a permit that yes this is a the environment friendly company or other things. As we all knowing that nowadays every product are telling that we use the organic products, we don't hamper the environment, we don't use the chemicals. All these type of claims that were made are just to make the greenwashing or to just escape the sanctions and the tax. Also, isn't it a right to pollute certificate, if you call it, that we are just permitting a businessman to pollute it, and whatever the profit it gets, it will just share it some of the profit to the other companies and gain the carbon certificates. So these type of things will be regulated, and and the law had to be made in such a framework that it does not lead to the cases as the Bhopal gas tragedy had happened. We all know that what happened on the 3rd of December 1984 night. That is a highly that is a highly deadly chemical isocyanate have released the midnight air, and the reason around 5 kilometers around the company all died on the night. Around 20 to 30,000 people have died, and till now they suffer. Also, there is a concern that who will given the priority in the in this type of system, the voluntary market, because we are all seeing that we are in having in a pressure market, we have in the recession also, we are in a continuous viscous cycle of recession and inflation. So will the government will just only make the profit and the businessman to invest, or the government will took this step and the work some like the what the European Union have worked, because India has also some of the nationally determined goals, ND and the NDG. These type of goals are set by the countries itself, which is presented as a mark sheet in the international organizations, IPCC or Union Nations Environment Program. And at that international platform, they say that yes, we are doing this good, and for this we need funds and all and new technologies. So at that, the country that were performing good were made praises, and the rank and there is a ranking were made that yes, this is a ranking were made, like India is just improving its rank day by day this sector. So this is all for today. For more videos, follow BSE Special Classes.